CM Punk is finally going to main event WrestleMania, night one of a two-night extravaganza, if you will. In a triple threat match with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins up against him, this contest has found itself at the top of the card despite having no title implications. But with the added bonus of having Paul Heyman in Punk's corner, thanks to the favor, beating out both women's world titles and the World Heavyweight Championship match, mostly based on the star power this trio has. This is a long time coming for Punk, who's been vocal about his desire to be featured in the WrestleMania main event since 2011. There's bound to be at least some big implications for the match and its winner, but standing on its own merits as the biggest attraction on the show is a compliment to Punk and the two men he'll be wrestling. After being denied so many times and even leaving the industry entirely, it seemed like CM Punk's WrestleMania main event would never happen. Now that it is, it might actually make sense for him to lose it. You're watching Sportskeeda Wrestling, and this is the insane reason CM Punk should lose at WrestleMania 41. But before we go any further, we're approaching 200,000 subscribers on this channel. Why not help us get there by hitting subscribe and enabling notifications so you never miss one of our videos? Many thanks. Let's take a look at how we got here. It all starts with CM Punk's iconic pipe bomb promo on the June 27th edition of Monday Night Raw back in 2011. In this era-defying, fourth wall breaking promo, Punk happened to mention, among other frustrations, that the fact that Dwayne, or The Rock, was in the WrestleMania main event the following year and he wasn't made him sick. Let's call this planting the seeds, although Punk planted a lot of seeds in that pipe bomb promo. The promo turned Punk into a household name overnight and brought millions of eyes back to the WWE product. He even got a documentary based on his rise, where he voices further frustrations with WrestleMania main event plans, particularly with The Miz headlining WrestleMania 27. CM Punk's words and in-ring performances to back it up earned him a year-long WWE Championship reign, which led him to a WrestleMania 28 title defense against Chris Jericho, bumped from the top spot by the same Rock appearance that Punk had mentioned in the pipe bomb promo, an appearance that was billed as once in a lifetime, which we all know was a big fat whopper of a lie. Punk retained the belt in his match with Jericho and was still the champion by the time the Royal Rumble came around the following year. If you smell some bullshit coming, The Rock came back for a rematch with John Cena, scheduled to take place in the main event of WrestleMania again. To add insult to injury, it was decided that the match needed some higher stakes, and that meant adding a title, the WWE title to be exact, which, as we said, was held by CM Punk at the time. He dropped the title to The Rock in an underrated match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in 2013 and had the match of the night with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 instead. All the while, The Rock would carry the WWE Championship into his second consecutive WrestleMania main event as a part-time performer. A match that was built on a lie to make things just a little bit worse, even though it was still a massive draw. Then, the following year, CM Punk was supposedly set to take on Triple H in the opening match of the show. Not the main event, though allegedly Vince McMahon still considered it one, as Punk noted in his now infamous Colt Cabana podcast interview. The main event spot on the show was to go to Batista, another part-time star returning from a successful acting run. Punk walked out on the company before WrestleMania 30 took place, and the Triple H match went to Daniel Bryan instead, with frustrated fans forcing an underdog hero into the main event of the show, whether WWE management wanted it or not. Cue Michael Cole screaming, "The Miracle Kid! The Miracle Kid!" and ruining it for everyone. But 2014 was the last time the Punker and WrestleMania could be seriously mentioned in the same sentence until 2023, when he made his return to the WWE at the end of the Survivor Series Premium Live event. Punk didn't get his main event upon return. In fact, he didn't even get to compete at WrestleMania 40, robbed of a match on the show by an arm injury, though he did find the time to show up and ruin Drew McIntyre's day. Now in 2025, CM Punk is healthy and taking on Seth freaking Rollins and Roman Reigns in a triple threat match, which, as we mentioned at the top of the video, forced its way to the top of the card. Fans would not have it any other way, and clearly neither would Triple H, who recently called the match the biggest triple threat match in history. Which brings us to our article topic. Why exactly do we think CM Punk should lose this match? He's waited so long for it after all. The other two have won main events at WrestleMania before, Seth at WrestleMania 31 and Roman at 32, 33, 37, 38, and 39, with world titles on the line in most of them. So why shouldn't Punk win? Walk out of Mania WrestleMania with a victory and use his Paul Heyman favor for something WWE Championship related. Maybe not at WrestleMania 41, but not too long after. Well, that might be rushing it a bit, because this is an underdog story, and underdogs have got to lose before they win. Yes, we know how insane that sounds, because it's already been over a decade in the making as it is. But allow us to explain a little further. There have been two huge WrestleMania underdog stories since 2010, culminating with World Championship victories in the main event of the show. Both of these competitors truly began to generate traction when they suffered dreadful WrestleMania results that weren't their fault. These men were Daniel Bryan and Cody Rhodes. Bryan, when he lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Sheamus in 18 seconds in the opening match of WrestleMania 28, thanks to CM Punk's wife of all people, how ironic, and Cody, when he failed to finish the story on his first try at WrestleMania 39, thanks to the old bloodline interference chestnut, which allowed Roman Reigns to retain once again, which was the style at the time. Bryan came back strong with a generational fan movement in 2014 and found himself winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the closing match of WrestleMania 30. Cody finished the story thanks to a similar fan movement in 2024, when all evidence pointed toward The Rock being in the WrestleMania 40 main event instead, but the Cody crybabies had plans of their own. The fans went crazy for both victories, and they felt even more meaningful because we'd had to wait for them. WWE could generate a similar fan movement with CM Punk, only this time it would be intentional. Punker should lose the match, possibly clean, but unfair shenanigans or unusual circumstances might make things more interesting for the storytelling. Punk comes up short, he was screwed over, and it lights a fire under him. A fire that burns. Always. Thank you. I know that was absolutely terrible, and we should all be ashamed of having to hear it. But a fire nonetheless, one that spurs CM Punk on his final climb to victory in the WrestleMania main event, ideally with one of WWE's 2 world championships on the line. WWE can deny the fans what they want, which would realistically rally them behind CM Punk, who's beloved by the majority of them anyway, which they can get away with this time, given that they're still technically giving the fans what they want by putting him in the main event to begin with. A planned reaction, which makes logical sense. Actual psychology, not just annoying your audience so much that they loudly vocalize their frustrations, forcing you to make creative changes to your biggest show of the year. Punk being defeated at WrestleMania 41 could be exactly what he needs to start a chase for his big title win. His very own version of the story, or the Yes Movement, with his own version of the Bloodline or the Authority/Evolution to compete against on the way. We know that this is technically John Cena's last WrestleMania, but a CM Punk versus heel Cena clash for the WWE Championship with Cena as champ, as WrestleMania's main event, with a year of build culminating with CM Punk dethroning Big Match John and leaving WrestleMania 42 with the WWE Championship? Well, that sounds mighty good to us. Gunther would be another option for that match if WWE wants to keep the Ring General's World Heavyweight title reign going until then, which seems likely given his current field of competitors. Sometimes you've got to be cool to be kind. Fans love to see their heroes win, they love to see an underdog beat the odds, but for that to happen, there needs to be odds for them to beat. CM Punk has had a lot of blocks in the way to his WrestleMania main event, and he's finally got that match. But one more fork in the road could really push Big Match Phil to the next level when it comes to the grandest stage of them all. One last push to that career-defining moment to top all the others, which he's not exactly short of as it is. Or of course, he could somehow, someway, walk out of Las Vegas as the WWE champion, as some on the internet have theorized, which is a little forced and probably not something that should logically happen. But a well-paced build, with anticipation and sympathy on a beloved member of the roster, long overdue for a victory he's been chasing, that gives people a reason to care, as would a formidable opponent. I don't think any of us would be opposed to those things. Hey, maybe WWE will swerve us all and put the triple threat match on first at WrestleMania 41. Piss everyone off nice and good, rob them of what they were promised in a way that they're all too familiar with. That's another, more chaotic way to go for sure. It would make for some great TV though, and some interesting comments on social media. Don't deny him too badly though, lest he end up like poor Drew McIntyre. Whatever happens, WWE has to do one thing above all else: wrap CM Punk in bubble wrap until April 20th. And that's it for this one. Do you agree? Should CM Punk lose the main event of WrestleMania 41? What do you think the endgame is? Share your thoughts down in the comments section, and don't forget to like, share, share, and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling to see more content like this. Enable notifications while you're at it. You'll be the first to know when a new video drops. Isn't that nice? Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.